metronome training, doing a squat with hip flexion, okay? What we're going to do here is we're going to use a metronome which counts time, counts beats, and we're going to follow the pace of that metronome as we do this exercise. So we have it set up for a 4 count, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to try and keep up with the pace of the metronome. What you're going to do is you're going to have to download a metronome app. I'm assuming you're not going to want to go buy one of those old-fashioned metronomes. There's a good one called Metronome Beats. It's free. I've used it before. And what you do is you set it to a number of beats per minute that for whatever exercise you're doing, and this one is going to be, like I said, a squat with hip flexion, okay? One that will allow you to stay in time with the metronome, but by the end of 2 minutes you'll be pretty gassed and not really able to stay in time with the metronome. That's the key. Once you're not able to stay in time with the metronome anymore, then you'll know that it's game over, okay? So, like I said, we're going to try and go for 2 minutes, and then what you do is you rest for a minute and you do it again. Depending on how your trainer programs it for you, but that's generally the way that I do it, okay? So, a squat with hip flexion. What's a squat? Well, let's just go over it again really quickly. Feet shoulder width apart, toes pointing out at about 10-15 degrees. When you come down, you stay on your heels, and the ideal is to get down here so that your thighs are parallel with the ground. Only if your knees, hips don't hurt when you do that, of course, okay? So if your knees or hips hurt when you do the squat or when you do the hip flexion, let's try and find something else for you to do, right? Otherwise, this is a great exercise to use with a metronome. Keep your core tight, keep your chest expanded, even at the bottom of the movement, and what you want to do is you want to make sure that your hips and your knees are moving at the same time. So remember, I have the metronome set right now for 70 beats per minute. You're going to want to pick, like I said, a rate that you can do, hopefully for about 2 minutes, but where you will start to fall out of step. You won't be able to keep up with the metronome at the end of the 2 minutes, okay? So let's see what that looks like, okay? First, let's listen to the count. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You get it? Let me stop that thing because it's going to be pretty annoying. So, like I said, choose a number of beats per minute that allow you to be able to keep time for about 2 minutes, but after the 2 minutes you're going to start to fall out of time, okay? So there it is. That's a squat with hip flexion using a metronome.